was a nice lift back there. But you got a lot to learn.
Crap!
You stick with me and I'll teach you a few things.
No offense, but I don't even know you.
My friends call me Sully.
Hey gamers, welcome back to Square One Games. My name is Exonovan, and I want to show you how to get another trophy from Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection. So the first treasure is actually going to be in the second chapter of the game. This is actually at the beginning of the game. We just had our conversation with Sully. We just want to run all the way down here, past these trees right here that in the shape of the V. Just past those, just follow the waterway. And we're going to wrap around to the left up here and pick up our very first treasure. It's going to be right here. And we're also going to be picking up a trophy called First Treasure. The next treasure is going to be in the area where we have the stone columns. They're in that square shaped, kind of in that grid pattern. We're going to run over this way. What we can do is hop up. This is also part of the natural progression of the storyline. Little puzzle that we have to figure out here. And just jump across. And then if we head up this and jump, this is going to act like it's going to fall. And if we jump up here like this and we just make a left and we jump again, treasure's going to be right here. So right up there is the entrance that you had to make in order to get down to this underground area. It's going to be a cutscene with Sully. After that, just head this way. This is where the game wants you to go. It wants you to blow up that barrel and then cross the gap. What you can do first is head to the left and pick up your next treasure. Alright, so we've just created the waterfall here. This is all natural progression of the storyline. We're just going to hop into the water and just head straight. And we're going to take a little right here, and it's going to be right around this rock. Let's hop up here, go right. It's going to be right over here. Alright, so this is right after the running sequence. We just had that conversation with Sully about the tracks. We're supposed to be going that way. We actually want to come back this way near this pot, actually right behind the pot, and pick up our next treasure. Alright, so the next treasure is going to be right as you're leaving the underground area. Just going to head up this way.
Spaniards must have made themselves a shortcut to get the treasure out.
Stay on top. This is going to be your next treasure right there. You can probably see it already. And there it is. Alright, so this is just on the way to the U-boat. It's all natural progression of the storyline. And what's going to happen right here is the game wants us to go to the left. All we're going to do is go to the right. And it's going to be up here on this ledge. And sometimes it's hard to grab because you'll fall off the side. So just be careful. But that's treasure number 7. Alright, so once you've made your way down to the U-boat, we're just going to head all the way over here to the end. You can probably see it twinkling down there right now. And that's going to be our next treasure. There it is. Treasure number 8. Alright, so this is Plane Wrecked. This is going to be chapter number 4. And the first treasure in this chapter is going to be right back here. That's number 9. Alright, the next one's going to be right when you get to this waterfall right here. We just want to take a left. And it's going to be over here at this kind of the dead end or whatever. Right here. And that's also going to be your Novice Fortune Hunter trophy for collecting 10 treasures. Okay, so kind of where I'm pointing at right now is where the last treasure was. And all we did was just come up this way right here and wrap ourselves around. And we ended up being right here. Now, the game wants us to go right there where that log is and keep heading that way. And we're going to go in that direction, but we're going to drop off of a ledge and grab another treasure right quick. And I'll show you where that is. Let's head up this way. Okay, and jump over this gap. And instead of going across the log, which is right there, just come over here and hop down and you'll see your next treasure. So you're going to get to this huge area and there's going to be a gunfight. Once you've killed all the enemies, we're trying to make it right up there. That's going to be where the next treasure is. And all we have to do is just go this way to get up there. Just climb right here. Just keep making your way around. Hop across. And that's going to be your next treasure. So the last treasure that we got is on the other side of the gate. You know, you come in here, you have this big gunfight. And you come over here to this next area, you have another pretty big gunfight. And the treasure's actually going to be over here up top. So you just run around this way. Obviously all the enemies are dead already. And if you climb up here and go to the left, it's going to be your next treasure. Alright, so in order to find the next treasure, you just want to be paying close attention to this kind of archway right here. There's also going to be a lot of enemies right here, a pretty big gunfight. Just go and kill everybody and then wrap around to the left over here. And it's going to be behind this tree. See the tree right there? It's going to be down here on the left. See it flashing right there? And that's going to be your next treasure. So the next treasure is actually right after the truck sequence. You'll see this big waterfall. It'll be on your left. Obviously, I've already passed it. And you'll come up this way. This is the way the game wants you to go. Natural progression of the storyline. The game actually wants you to go like over this gap or whatever. But what you want to do is head down here to get your next treasure. Okay, so your next treasure is going to be after the plane sequence. There's actually going to be a wall down here that gets blown up by a bunch of enemies that come through. And once you pass through this archway, you can actually turn to the right and get your next treasure. So the next treasure is right after the platforming section. There's going to be another gunfight that's going to take place right up here. But if you just wrap around this way, and this is kind of your frame of reference, there's the fortress right there. It's going to be right down over here. That's going to be your next treasure. Alright, so after that gunfight, the next treasure is actually going to be right up there, but we have to make it through the traps. Just make sure that you come around to the left, and then just, you know, kind of walk past these booby traps. Just be pretty careful. Just don't touch the wire and you'll be good to go. And then when you get past all that, just come up here and take a left. It's going to wrap back up for you. Wrap around. And then it's going to be over here on the right. Right there. So now we're moving on to chapter 5, looking for some more treasures. And this next treasure we're going to be picking up is number 19, but it's actually called the Strange Relic. And this is another trophy that you can pick up during this video. It's called the Strange Relic Finder. So we're going to go and pick that up. So that's going to give you 61 treasures by the end of this video, because this one does count as another treasure. So where I'm at right now is the first major gunfight in chapter 5. I've already cleared out all the enemies. What we're going to do is head up this ramp right here. And then once we get to the top, the game is going to want us to go to the right to progress the storyline. We're just going to make a left. And then if we double back and jump over this gap right here, and we look on the left, that's going to be treasure number 19. But like I said, it's also going to be the Strange Relic, which is going to give you credit for another trophy. Alright, so once we've got that, let's go ahead and jump back across. And we're going to again pick up another treasure. Right quick. It's going to be this one right over here. It's going to be this way. We're actually going to climb up all this rubble right here. It looks like it's not possible to get up on the rubble, but you can. And then if you just fall off, it's going to be right here for you. Should be treasure number 20. It's also going to get you the trophy Intermediate Fortune Hunter. And we'll move on to the next one. Alright, so from here we've got one more treasure that's fairly close. You can actually just fall down right here. And then if you look over this way, there's going to be these two openings right here. We want to pick the one on the right. Just climb up all this rubble. Again, it looks like you can't get back here, but you can. And it's going to be right over here. It's going to be treasure number 21. Okay, so the next treasure is going to be right when you enter this waterway section. There's going to be a guy down there at the end barreling down on a minigun. You just want to pass through this arch right here and head up this way and wrap around and look by the stairs. And this is going to be your next treasure. As soon as it lets me get to it, there we go. The golden spoon. Alright, so now we're in chapter 6. There's going to be a pretty big gunfight right here. This is kind of iconic, this broken down Jeep. And what we want to do is just run this way. Gonna get another treasure. Go up these stairs, and then if you head to the left, there's going to be a tree right here. In order to get behind it, just jump up this section and come this way, and it's going to be right there for you. Just be careful because it's very easy to fall off. Alright, so the next treasure is right after you come through this passageway. It's after you use your key that you find in the tower. You can actually just head this way. Now keep in mind there's going to be a pretty big gunfight right here. So just kill all the enemies. Then we're going to head down this way. And right before we get to this gate, we're going to hop up this rubble. And this is going to be your next treasure. Alright guys, so the next treasure is going to be after the sequence where you're killing all the enemies with the minigun there. It's going to be down these stairs. Just going to wrap around. And then if you look over here, it's going to be right there. That's number 25. So the game is eventually going to tell you that you found Drake's tower, which is right there. And the way that you find the next treasure is to come this way. And we have to do a little bit of climbing right here. Just hop up here. This one's kind of off the beaten path. Come all the way over here. Looks like you can't get across, but you can. It's going to be right here for you. Alright, so now we're moving on to Chapter 8. Obviously, there's no treasures in Chapter 7. It's the Jeep sequence. But in Chapter 8, right at the beginning, there's going to be a firefight in this area. But if you wrap around this way, it's going to be your next treasure. Alright, so later on in Chapter 8, you're going to have to find your way up to a zip line. This is after the water section with Elena. And there's going to be a pretty big gunfight right here. I've already killed all the enemies, but make sure to kill them and then run underneath the arches right here. And then if you hop over this little wall to the right, is going to be your next treasure. Alright, so now we're in Chapter 9. There's been another water section with Elena, and you're going to be climbing over this gated wall right here. Going to drop in. There's going to be a couple of enemies right here to take out. That gate at the end down there is going to open up and flood some more enemies in, and that's the direction that the game wants us to go. But if we come over here first, we can pick up another treasure. Alright, so we finally made it up to the zip line. Let's go ahead and zip line down. I'll show you where this next treasure is. Just don't worry about her quite yet. Just jump up over this railing. Head down here. Next treasure. It's also going to give you the Proficient Fortune Hunter trophy. Alright, so now we're in Chapter 10. This is actually called the Customs House. There's going to be a guy up here popping M79 grenade rounds at you. That's kind of your frame of reference. You're going to be coming out of this door right here. And what you want to do is just climb up these stairs. And it's going to be right here, right in front of you. Alright, so now we're in Chapter 11. The next treasure is going to be after the cutscene where Elena is trying to show you what's on the camcorder. Going to be heading up these stairs right here. There's going to be a couple of guys in here that you need to take out. But what you want to do is head up the stairs and go to the right. You can go right or left. Let's go ahead and choose the right. It's going to be right here around the corner. Alright, and then the next treasure is going to be right after the rope bridge sequence. There's going to be a cutscene right there. What you can do is head and take a left right here. Come down the stairs. And we're just going to wrap around and pick up the next treasure. That should be number 33. Alright, so just keep progressing through the area. You're eventually going to get to this room right here. And in the back of the map is going to be your next treasure. Alright, so now we're in Chapter 13. There was obviously no treasures in Chapter 12. It was another one of those water sections with Elena. But what we want to do right here at the start of the chapter is head up these stairs. Now there's going to be a gate that you got to kick in by hitting triangle. Go ahead and do that and then take out the enemies in this area. And then right here, if you drop off, you can get your next, it's kind of hard to do, but get your next treasure. Okay, so eventually there's going to be a cutscene with Elena. After that cutscene, you just want to head down here to the right and drop down, and you can get your next treasure underneath the stairs. Alright, so the next treasure is actually upstairs. There's the fountain as a frame of reference. We just made our way through this path over here, right? Came up this way. And if you come up here and take a left, and then just fall down, then go all the way to the right, back over here in this corner, be your next treasure. Okay, so the next treasure is after the gate sequence where you have to hold the gate open for her. You can actually hop over this way and wrap around this wall and grab your next treasure. Alright, now immediately after getting this treasure, what you can do is head down this way. Obviously there's going to be some enemies here that you may need to take out if you haven't done that already. But what you can do is head over this way past the stairs, and over here in this back corner is going to be your next treasure. That's going to be treasure number 39. Alright, now from here what we can do, because we have kind of a long run here, we can head up this way. There's some steps back here, and there's a little room that wraps around right here. If you come down here and you take a left, you'll be able to get your next treasure. It's treasure number 40. That should be another trophy as well, called Professional Fortune Hunter.
Bingo.
Alright, so after we've solved the puzzle, let's go ahead and head down this way. We're going to go all the way back over here, past this column. It's going to be your next treasure.
Another library?
So the next treasure is actually at the beginning of chapter 14, and I mean right at the beginning, right? As soon as you finish with that cutscene and you get through the dialogue, it's right around this corner. It's going to be your next treasure. So just continue through the chapter and you're going to come out in this area right here, okay? There's going to be a waterfall on your left, okay? Because like I said, you're going to be right in this area. And what you're going to have to do is platform all the way around to get to where I am. You see what I'm saying? All I did was platform all the way around and got right here. And there's going to be some steps right here. And this is kind of where the game is wanting you to go. I'll show you this, right? All of this up here. So you're going to see a bunch of those spotlights and everything. But this is actually going to be where your treasure is, right behind the waterfall. So the next treasure is super easy to miss. It's actually right as you're coming out of that cave system that you were just in. You're going to be in this cathedral, and all you have to do is just look to the left, and it's going to be right here. Okay guys, so to get to our next treasure, we have to do a little bit of a puzzle right here. We're trying to get this door open. All you have to do is just switch to like a regular gun. Go ahead and ring that and then turn around and shoot the other bell. And that's going to open up the door. So as long as they're both ringing at the same time, you're good to go. And then we can advance and get our next treasure.
We got all the clues right here. We can do this, kid. How the hell does he think he's gonna get that statue out of here anyway?
Okay, so our lights are on, and let's get our bearings straight here. Okay, just come down the path. There's going to be this area to your left, and just wrap around. It's going to be your next treasure. Alright, so there's eventually going to be a cutscene. Once that's over with, you can head this way. Again, hop across. And then come down these steps and wrap around, and this is going to be your next treasure. Now, from this location, you can actually come this way. I'll show you where the next treasure is. Gonna be a little path right here. Go ahead and take this, and you're supposed to be turning that, but what you can do is just look to the left and get your next treasure. Alright, so now we're in chapter number 15. Now as soon as you start this chapter, there's gonna be some stairs on your left and some stairs on your right. There's also a vine right there as a frame of reference. You just want to head this way and get your next treasure. So eventually you're going to be right here in this room. You're actually going to be coming in from the window up there. Going to be platforming down. There's going to be some enemies right here that you need to kill. And then if you just keep heading straight, hop across a couple of these gaps. Then when you get up here, take a left. It's going to be over here right before you get to this gap. Alright, so you're eventually going to make it to this long vine section. Let's go ahead and climb up top. As soon as you hop down, we'll take out a couple of these guys. Once they're down, you can actually come over here and get your next treasure. That's going to also give you credit for the Expert Fortune Hunter trophy. Alright, the next treasure is right after you hang on both the keys. I'm showing you that on screen right now. You hang off both those keys and this window opens. You're just going to come through here and take a right. Come around the corner. It's going to be right here. So the next treasure is after this vine section. You're going to drop in. It's going to be some dialogue between you and Sully. There's a big pit in the middle there, in the middle of the map. That's kind of a frame of reference. And if you come this way, it's going to be behind here. Next treasure. Now, from here, if you just want to climb up this way and come straight ahead, you'll get your next treasure. This one's fairly close.
Which way do we go?
Huh. Wait a second.
Alright, so this is chapter number 16, and I'm going to go ahead and run this one out for you because this place is kind of confusing. But we're going to pick up our first treasure in this chapter. It's going to be right here. Alright, so in order to get the next treasure, there's quite a bit of running around we have to do, and there's some stuff we have to interact with. So I'm just going to let the video play, and then I'll cut back in with commentary when we're very close to the next treasure.
Oh man, completely lost. This has got to be good for something. Something's happening.
Hey, you do that? Things just started moving down here.
Sully, you read me? Damn, nothing.
Alright, so once you get here, just go ahead and look back. Your next treasure is going to be right over there. All you have to do is just get up here to the top and jump across. Jump across again and hop up, and you'll be able to get that one. Okay, so the next treasure is right after the ladder sequence. You guys remember you have to let the ladder down for Elena, and then there's also one that you and her climb up right there. There's a big gunfight right here. And then what you can do is head up this staircase, this winding staircase. And I wanted to show you this because it can be a little bit confusing because there is another winding staircase over there and there's another one over there. So I wanted to make sure you knew exactly which staircase that I was on. If you keep going this way, it's going to open up right here into a new area. It's probably going to be a couple enemies there for you too. And then as you're coming down this set of stairs, if you look to the right, your next treasure is going to be right over there. Now this is a little bit tricky to be able to get to it, but if you line yourself up with this column right here, you should be able to climb up. See what I'm saying? But if you try to do it on the rails, you're probably not even going to be able to do it, or you could slip and fall off. So just keep that in mind. Then all you got to do is just jump across. And again, pick up your next treasure. That's going to be number 56. Okay, so we're in chapter 18, and I've already done that first platform section. Once you're finished with that, you're going to end up being in this room right here. And don't worry about chapter 17. There actually wasn't any treasures in 17. So just head this way. There's going to be some enemies that you can kill. Take a right. Then when you get down here, take a left. And this was a little bit tricky because there's some guns laying down here, and they're obviously shining. But just past them is the treasure, which is also shining. So a lot of times you'll come through here and you'll just think that what was shining was one of the guns and pick it up instead, and you'll bypass the treasure altogether. So just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and grab that one. It's going to be treasure number 57. Okay, so the next treasure is just up ahead. Now I'm going to show you, just for a frame of reference, kind of where I am. Remember, that is where the chapter started. We went around that platforming section, and we've just, that's the room I was in a second ago when we had that cutscene with Elena when she was getting captured. And we've just basically made a big circle. That's kind of where we are right now. And then your treasure is going to be over here. Climb up on this crate, then hop across, then hop up here, and do one more. It's going to be right here for you. It's going to be number 58. Alright, so now we're in chapter 20, and all you have to do is just turn around and go back here by this rock and pick up your next treasure. Alright, so now we're officially in chapter 21. Let's just follow the path, and we just want to keep looking on the right to find our next treasure. It's going to be right over here. And that's going to be your Master Fortune Hunter trophy. You're also going to get your badge right there, Master Fortune Hunter. Now we still have one more left to get, because remember there are a total of 61 because the strange relic does count. So right over here behind this column is going to be your last one. And there you go, Master Thief Collection. Remember, that is for collecting all the treasures and getting the strange relic. Alright, and that pretty much wraps this one up. Make sure to stay tuned for more trophies from Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection. You guys be good.